All right, guys, back on the Bonneville again. So I've got the rear tire off and everything associated with it. This is the coolant reservoir. I was able to kind of like snake it over to get it out of the way, and now we have clearance to the connector here. So I'm going to fiddle with this to try to get this connector off, and then check it out. Hopefully it's just dirty or not plugged in all the way or something, and then we'll test it. Hopefully it's good. Okay, so it took a little bit, but the connector is off. What you've got to do is, when it's in here, you're basically taking a screwdriver and you're going to pry down on this. And this lever is locked in by this, so you'll pry down on this while moving this. It's really tight, but with a little bit of fighting, you can get there. So as far as the connectors go, they look fine to me, and the connector was fully seated. So, I mean, I unplugged it. We're going to throw this back on. Oop, spilling a little bit of coolant here. And that's it right there. So, I mean, plugged it, unplugged it. So, using Tune ECU, we weren't able to clear the codes. This is like your common TE connectors, what they're called. So this is pin 1, and this should be like pin 9. If you zoom in real close, and let's see if I can get it to focus. All right, you can't see it really well in the video, but if you look close at the connector, you'll see that they're actually numbered. So I can see it, but you can't see in the video. But this is 1, this is 9. So according to the diagram, we're going to start off by checking power. Power comes off of pin 4 and 18, I believe. I'll look at the diagram again. So those are connected to the fuses up top. So we checked the fuses the other day. We know those have good power. So we're basically going to check 4 and 18 for power. And then we'll also check it for ground at the same time. So this right here, I use like a lot. You can't buy this at like your local parts store. I always have to order this off of the Jungle site, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so use it to clean up like wiring connectors, stuff like that. These were relatively clean to begin with, but you go ahead and clean it up. It really cleans up a lot of oxidation. I use this a lot on ECU pins. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean it just because it's already apart. And then today we're just going to go ahead and check up the rest of the wiring. Alrighty, so according to the diagram, pin 10 is ground. And so we're going to probe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should give us 12 volt power, which we have there. And the next one is 18. And 18 has 12 volt power. So from this test alone, we've already isolated 3 wires. We know power, both the power wires and the ground wires are good. So the next step is going to be checking the 2 wires from the ECU to the ABS module. So ECU is pins A33 and A34, and they should lead to pin 2 and 11 on the ABS module. Okay, so here's where the ECM is. I had to unplug the taillight harness, and there's another harness that goes right here for, I think, the USB vault. So I've got to undo these security bolts. All right, so this is ECM's disconnected. It's just a simple T30 Torx right here. I've got this into pin 11, and it should pin 11 on the ABS, so it should go to pin 34. As you can hear, our meters kicking off there. So we've got continuity. So now it's time to check the other wire. So we've got the other wire here. So unfortunately, it seems like we've got continuity here. That's pin 33 here to pin 2 down on the ABS. So unfortunately, we've got everything. We've got the 2 CAN wires to the ECU. We've got the 2 power wires and the single ground. And that's everything for the ABS. What's really strange about the whole ordeal is that I can't pull any codes from the ABS, but through Tune ECU on my phone, I can actuate it to get it to bleed. So it is making some type of communication. It just doesn't seem like it's working. So what we're going to do now, just to be on the safe side, is we're going to do a continuity test from the ABS module to the actual ABS sensor in the front and then see what we get. So in the Haynes manual, we know that the front here is blue-white to black-green. Unfortunately, it doesn't show like an actual pin number here, but the colors are different, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out just by looking at the back side of it. All right, so I found the problem. We get continuity here on blue-white, but on this green-black, excuse me, we get continuity on green-black, but blue-white has nothing. So I pulled the rear TE connector off and then looked at the wires and confirmed that we don't have it. So I'm going to go ahead and check the rear ones and just the rear ABS and go from there. I checked the rear wheel speed sensor, which is blue-red and black-green. We got continuity there. I double-checked the blue-white wire on the front ABS. That's definitely not working. So we're going to have to figure that out. Easiest method is probably just going to be running a new wire altogether, but I'm going to check this hardness. Maybe on the ends it's not too far bad. Maybe the split is closer up to the ends. I don't know, but that's definitely the problem there. All right, so last time we worked on the Triumph, we did a continuity test and we found that we lost one of the ABS wires. One of the ABS wires is split somewhere in the harness. So I brought home my ECT 2000 from Power Probe, and the way this works is that you got there's two parts to this. This is actually the receiver. You got power and ground to this box right here. It's hiding down there. I got it draped over, so the transmitter is hooked up to power and ground, and you've got this green wire, and you hook it up to the wire that you have is broken. So I'm going to turn this on. And I'm going to adjust the sensitivity. This is just a preference thing. That's just how I like it. So when you see we fall along this wire with the antenna, and we have like a pretty good, decent connection here, right? And we're going to follow the ABS wire down through the main harness, and you'll see that we still have really good connection. But once we end up around here, we lose the connection. So let's see. So probably somewhere around here is our break. I mean, this is wrapped up here. Like there's this little lump here. I don't know if it's hooked up correctly, but it seems like we're losing it right about here. So I'm going to split this open and we're going to check it. So I went ahead and took the tank off. The reason why I did that was I did the test again from the ABS modulator side up here. And what would happen was about right here, I'd lose signal because the harness runs and snakes underneath the spine of it. And so I just pulled it off, and just to confirm, like the signal ended right about here. And earlier when we tested it, it stopped right about here. And looky here. That's right, folks. There is the blue-white wire right there. So the problem is that we see one end of it, but the other end of where it's connected to, I cannot seem to locate. So I'm going to have to do some pulling and digging to find out where the hell it went, but there's our break right there. Alright, so as you can see, here's the blue-white wire. I had to remove all the sheathing to get it off. It sucks because I forgot my roll of Tessa tape at the shop, but here it is right here. Here's the break in the wire. Alright, beeping of joy. I just temporarily tapped it there. We went from here to the ABS modulator right there, and we've got continuity, and look at that. So barely any resistance, so we're ready to rock finally. Alright, so we've got this crimped on. Obviously we're supposed to heat this up to get the insulation to melt. I chose to use this because these are waterproof, but before we heat it up, we're going to check continuity one last time, make sure that we have low resistance and everything is good. Because if you go to heat this up and it's not good, you're gonna have to cut this off and then patch a wire. So we're gonna test that first, and if everything's good, we'll go ahead and heat it up and we'll start wrapping it up. Folks, we are connected to the ECU at the moment. We're gonna check our error codes, and if all goes well, we won't have any more finally. Look at that, no more error codes. Alright, so I just got back on my test ride, probably put 6 or 7 miles on it. A few things. The fuel level didn't work. I don't know if I need to reset adaptations again because I emptied it and filled it back up. But the main thing is the clutch is slipping. So first gear or so, second gear, about third gear. Third gear, you can be, 3,000 RPMs or so, and then go full tilt, and then it'll slip. I took a look at the clutch adjustment down here, and I was fiddling with it while I was on the road, and it's like completely off. So that's going to be the next thing there. Going to look into that a little bit more and then try to figure it out. I don't know whether it's adjusted wrong or something, but the way the brakes looked and just the overall care of this bike, it probably needs springs or something. But that's unfortunate. That's what I get for just trusting people, but it is what it is, right? So the next step is I'm going to just reset adaptations, see if the fill level starts to work again, and then I'm going to let it cool down and I'll inspect the clutch springs. All right, so I'm pretty sure I got screwed, but when I found this, both of these nuts were on this side, and it was like basically maxed out. So I set it back how it should be, and look at this clutch lever. Like no resistance in it whatsoever. So it seems like they were taking up the slack on it to get it to basically just get it to where it was grabbing. But I'm pretty sure that our springs are screwed in there, but it sucks, but it is what it is. At least the ABS is working, so that's a big plus. So I'm gonna adjust this as best as I can to see if we can just to check to be sure, and if not, we'll be ordering some clutches.